On December 20th, 1968, 16-year-old Betty Lou Jensen and 17-year-old David Faraday were on their first date. After attending a Christmas concert, they drove out to Lake Herman Road, a secluded lover's lane in Vallejo, California. At around 11:15 p.m., a car pulled up beside them. Moments later, a shadowy figure emerged and approached their vehicle. Without hesitation, he fired a bullet into the rear left wheel, disabling the car. As the couple tried to escape, the man aimed a .22 caliber pistol at David and shot him in the head at point-blank range. Betty tried to flee, but the killer chased her down, firing 5 shots into her back. She died instantly. The attacker then disappeared into the night, leaving behind a gruesome crime scene. The small community was shaken. Investigators scrambled for leads, but they didn't know that this was only the beginning. Just 6 months later, on July 4th, 1969, 22-year-old Darlene Ferran and her friend, 19-year-old Mike Mageau, parked at Blue Rock Springs Park. As they chatted, a car pulled in and parked behind them. After briefly leaving, the vehicle returned and its driver approached with a 9mm Luger. Without a word, the man opened fire. Darlene was shot multiple times and later died at the hospital. Despite his injuries, Mike survived and gave police a description of the attacker: a white male, stocky, with short brown hair. Then the killer made a chilling call to the Vallejo Police Department. "I want to report a murder. If you will go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye." The Zodiac had introduced himself, and he wanted the world to know. On July 31st, 1969, 3 newspapers, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald, received nearly identical letters from a man claiming responsibility for the murders of Betty Lou Jensen, David Faraday, and Darlene Ferran. The letters contained chilling details only the killer could know. One of them read, "Dear editor, I am the killer of the 2 teenagers last Christmas at Lake Herman and the girl last 4th of July. To prove this, I shall state some facts which only I and the police know. Christmas, brand name of ammo. Super X 10 shots fired boy was on back. Feet to car girl was lying on right side, feet to west. 4th of July, girl was wearing patterned pants, boy was also shot in knee. Brand name of ammo was Western. Here is a cipher, or that is part of one. The other 2 parts of this cipher have been mailed to the San Francisco Examiner and the San Francisco Chronicle. I want you to print this cipher on your front page by Friday afternoon, August 1st to 69. If you do not do this, I will go on a kill rampage Friday night that will last the whole weekend. I will cruise around and pick off all stray people or couples that are alone, then move on to kill some more until I have killed over a dozen people." Fearing the threat could be real, the newspapers complied. The bizarre symbols were published for all to see. But it wasn't long before amateur cryptographers Donald and Betty Harden cracked the code. What they uncovered was a horrifying confession. "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all. To kill something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and all the lone or stray people I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow down or stop my collecting of slaves for my afterlife." The Zodiac's words sent a wave of terror across the Bay Area. And yet, despite his boasts and threats, his true identity remains one of the greatest mysteries in criminal history. On September 27, 1969, college students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were relaxing by the shores of Lake Berryessa. Suddenly, a man wearing a black hood with a white crossed circle symbol approached. Claiming he was an escaped convict, he tied the couple with rope. Then, without warning, he drew a large knife and began his brutal attack. Brian was stabbed 6 times, while Cecilia suffered 10 stab wounds. The Zodiac left a cryptic message on Brian's car door, scrawling, "Vallejo 12, 2068, 7469, September 27, 69, 6:30 by knife." Despite their devastating injuries, Brian survived, but Cecilia passed away 2 days later. Later that evening, the Zodiac made another call to the police. "I want to report a murder. No, a double murder. They were in a white Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. I'm the one who did it. The killer had struck again, and he wanted the world to know. Just weeks later, on October 11, 1969, 29-year-old cab driver Paul Stine picked up a passenger in San Francisco. His destination, the wealthy neighborhood of Presidio Heights. When they reached the corner of Washington and Cherry Streets, the killer pulled out a 9mm pistol and shot Stine in the head. Calmly, the Zodiac tore off a piece of the driver's blood-stained shirt as a trophy. 3 witnesses saw him casually wipe down the car and walk away. A miscommunication during the police dispatch led officers to search for a black male instead of the actual suspect, allowing the Zodiac to vanish into the night. Days later, the San Francisco Chronicle received another letter. Enclosed was a piece of Paul Stine's shirt as proof. The Zodiac gleefully mocked the police and issued a horrifying threat. "School children make nice targets. I think I shall wipe out a school bus some morning, just shoot out the front tire, and pick off the kiddies as they come bouncing out." The city was paralyzed with fear. Buses were escorted by armed officers and parents kept a watchful eye. But the Zodiac's threats never materialized. The Zodiac claimed to have killed as many as 37 people, though only 5 confirmed victims are officially linked to him. Despite the best efforts of law enforcement, including the San Francisco Police Department and the FBI, the killer's identity remains unknown. Among the suspects was Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted sex offender. Allen's connection to the Zodiac case seemed strong, but DNA evidence ultimately ruled him out. Other suspects included Earl Van Best Jr., Gary Francis Post, and Lawrence Kane, but no conclusive evidence emerged. In 2004, the Zodiac case was declared inactive, though it remains a subject of fascination for detectives and amateur sleuths alike. The killer's cryptic ciphers and haunting letters continue to baffle experts to this day. Who was the Zodiac Killer? Perhaps the answer is still out there, waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into the world of true crime, mysteries, and the unexplained, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Mexo Media.